How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Happy Friday, I think, right?
I mean, what does that even mean anymore?
So we got Professor Gaines over here. This is Jared from Los Angeles. He's our teacher in LA.
Awesome.
Hey, how's it
Hi,
going?
Jared.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Yes, you as well.
And so we
Anita,
got,
she shows she's on. I don't know if she's
she's there, but I don't know. We'll just kind of use it.
I'm on. Hold on a second. Hold on.
There we go. Almost. Nice. Well, this is, I appreciate you guys' time today. I'm going to make it nice and short for you because I know you're all busy with other meetings and stuff, but this is, I think it's kind of cool. At least it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. We have all these different powers. We have Lifetime, we have Equinox, we have Crunch, and then we have Show Up, and we're just in different capacities. And so nice meeting you, Anita. This is the first time that, so you know Jared, and how do you know Jared?
We used to work together at Crunch.
Okay, so I was just thinking,
Yeah.
we'll just kind of go around real quickly and give us a little elevator speech on maybe a little bit about your background, where you're at, and what you're currently doing, whatever disclosure you can give us, the current capacity, and then we're just going to kind of use this as an opportunity for our online internship that we have to just educate you that are getting into the industry. And I'll talk to you guys about what are some things that you look for in great trainers, and if you had like a perfect wish, and what would that trainer look like, and just get people prepared for the realistic life of a trainer out there. So, ladies first.
Yeah, sure. Hi, guys. I'm Annie. I currently work for Equinox. I'm coming up on actually my 10-year anniversary of working for Equinox. I have been in the personal training industry for about, 18 years. And in the management side of personal training for about the last 8 years. So currently we, with all of our clubs shut down, we are working on, we've launched a virtual training platform, which kind of in the works before this all happened. And then because of the circumstances, we kind of had to speed things up a little bit. So we're using a platform called Lyft, which I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with it, but apparently they've been around for a little while, and now Equinox has exclusive rights to them. So, so yeah, just kind of, getting used to this whole Zoom work space, and trying to get as many of our trainers and their clients onto this new virtual platform as possible. That's been my life.
Nice. Anita?
Oh, hey. So I am at Lifetime right now. I'm a senior manager, personal training manager. I was with Crunch before that in New York for 11 years. When I left there, I was multi-unit manager, a district manager. I had 12 clubs. And I've been in the management side for, since 2009. So what is that, 11 years? And been in the industry for about 15 years. Our clubs are also currently shut down, and we're doing this similar, switching to an online platform. I'm in the Southeast right now. That's the region that I'm in, and I don't know what else you wanted to know.
That's good.
Anything else?
No,
Okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
Jared?
Yeah, so hi guys. I'm Jared. I've been in the industry for 14 years. I was in the corporate world for 12 years. I managed for 24 Hour Fitness for about 8 to 9 years, and I was with Crunch for another 4, and then I was with Export for a couple out of Chicago. And then now I'm obviously training independent, working with Show Up, and also teaching the internship that we have, the 4-month internship that we're working on. So right now, obviously, the clubs are shut down. Everything's shut down. Just basically trying to do content with Chris and get our online going, as well as just training a few people online, doing some Zoom training, different things like that to try to stay busy.
Nice. Well, again, I appreciate you guys, and just wanted to do a little, almost like an interview process where I know you guys are in that situation where people come in and the candidates that you have, and one of our things that we're trying to do here is just kind of redefine we want to redefine the personal training industry. I feel that it's a little too easy to get in there. You take a weekend course, you've never trained someone, you may have a six-pack or an awesome abs or ass or whatever, and people think that that's the ticket to be a great trainer. And as we know, there's so much more than just that piece of paper. There's experience, there's education, there's being nice and being able to relate to people. So in your experience, you guys have a ton of it too. I'm the baby here, which is exciting. I just want to pick your guys' brains on, for our students that are watching this, what are some characteristics and what are some things that you guys look for in the hiring process that's just going to help make your team that much better?
We use three terms of things in terms of things that we are looking for, and that is that you have to be personable, professional, and credible. So people have to like you first and foremost. If in an interview with somebody, if I'm not kind of vibing with them or resonating with them, they don't seem like somebody that is going to come off as being just really likable and personable, then that right away is a huge red flag. And I don't care how professional or credible they may seem, if they're not likable, if they're not personable, then everything else kind of falls to the side. So, but then of course, they have to know their craft in terms of being credible and, being a great trainer. And then just professional, a great work ethic. They're going to be timely. They're going to carry themselves well. They're going to be organized. Those are the three biggest things that we look for.
Nice. Anita?
Yeah. I would say, along the same lines, I mean, we use the terms hungry, humble, and smart, which sounds very similar. For me, I know that we're talking to students, or I think this is for students, and the education part is extremely important. However, like Annie, I believe that's her name, what she just said, you have to be people have to like you, and you also have to understand that even with not only taking a weekend course, being signed up for a full program like yours, there's a lot to learn, and the industry is always changing, and you got to be able to vibe with that and move along with it, as well as having that drive. A lot of people, I think, or at least it seems for the time that I've been in the industry, they get in because they love to work out and they just want to make it their job. And that's great. However, it is a hustle. And one of the things that I have constantly talked to people about is like, if you go to law school and you take the bar exam, you pass, you get a job at a firm, you're not going to walk in there on day one and be like, I think you should make me a partner. Why not? And that is really what it seems like a lot of the people that get in, they think that it's going to just be really quick, and it is like it's a long game. So dealing with people, working with people, there's sales involved, there's the personable aspect, there's eye contact, there's all of the things that people don't do now because we have so much social media and ways to communicate with people without actually being personable. So there's just some elements that I think that you can't necessarily get in a book, although getting that information is really important too.
Yeah, I mean, I think just to add to that, I mean, I'm more of a freestylist when it comes to like interviewing people. I actually kind of just go off their personality. But the biggest thing is they basically touched on everything I look for. The only other couple things I would add to that is just kind of I look at where their background, where they come from a sports background. What do they do? Why are they interested in fitness? What makes them want to be a personal trainer? That's the number one thing. And what do they want to do with them becoming a trainer? They want to become a manager. They want to open their own gym. They want to just be a fantastic trainer, whatever it is, that's great. But the other thing I like to make sure is that they're going to fit with my team. Because if they're not going to fit with my team, there's going to be, that brings a instant issue. And I don't need that, because if we all know when you have these bigger staffs, it's almost like, being a principal of a high school sometimes. And that's the biggest thing that I want to make sure that they're going to fit my team, and just really, the fact that it's not going to be easy, and they're going to have to spend a lot of time there, a lot of hours there to build a business. If they're willing to do that, then I'm willing to spend my time to help develop them do that.
That's great. I think it's awesome for, Now, I see a big problem is that, like you were just saying earlier, is the false expectations when people come in. And I kind of wanted to piggyback off what Anita was saying with, I like that example with lawyers or doctors. It's like they go through, you can call it a rite of passage or whatever, but they have to work hard. And so trainers come in their Lulu outfits and they think it's just going to be checking in at 8, closing at 5, and that's it. But there's so much more to it. And so what are some things, and I've interviewed a lot of you and other managers as well, in a common denominator, I've heard statistics even higher than this, but 80% of trainers that get certified quit within the first year. And let's talk a little bit more about why you think that is, and if we had this automatic awesome academy or commission that now instilled the new rules for successful trainers in the future, what do you think are some of those things that we could employ to help trainers be successful long term?
Well, I'll go. A couple things is all the things that we're touching on, the personable aspect and the generation that we're dealing with. And I hate to sound old because I'm not that old, but just the generation of people, they have like a very unrealistic expectation out of going to college or studying something. And it's because there is a lot of opportunity. You could learn something on social media and become a millionaire, right? Like you could get a following. And that's totally possible, but even those people work really hard. And I think because a lot of people make it look so easy and people have access to that can be challenging. If I had to pick a couple of things that I'd want to make sure that everybody had, I guess, is that what I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But if I had to pick a couple things, I would say, you want to make sure that they have the education. That's very, very important, and continue to get that. That is another false, I guess, expectation where they may go to show up, I believe is the name of your school, and then, I'm good for the end of time. You got to consistently get more tools. And the ability to be able to communicate effectively and know the value in what it is that you have. Those I think would be the big things, because they can be very, very talented. We've had some people, I know Jared and I both have had people who are really talented, but they can't ask for the money. They're afraid to. They don't know how to. And it's like, okay, well, you spent money on this certification, you spent all this time, now you got to go communicate. And be able to show that and not overshow it, so the person sees what you have as valuable and stays with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna say sales is probably the number one thing that we see. The reason why somebody, regardless of their passion or how personable they may be, if they cannot sell themselves and talk about and articulate what it is that they do and what kind of value that they can bring to someone, then they're not going to get clients, and then they're going to get frustrated and they're going to end up quitting. And so I know that, at Equinox, a big thing that we try and do as managers is we try and get new trainers some clients right away or as quickly as possible, so that they can, well, one, especially if they are new, they can get that confidence. Once you've got a couple of clients and you have that confidence, and while you're training people, like now you feel like a real trainer. So I think that, the sales aspect is something that we definitely drive really hard in the very beginning. I mean, sometimes before we even start to touch on programming, because it doesn't matter, what programs are going to look like if they don't even have any clients. Yep. So yeah, the sales, and then just, trying to work with your managers or your leaders, wherever it is that you're at, to try and get some clients and some people under your belt so that you can build that confidence.
Yeah, just to kind of add what they talked about, like Anita said, we have managed some talented people, but the only thing is, I think this generation is some of the most talented people in the world. But we're also the type of people, and I'm going to ruffle some feathers saying this, we're giving out participation trophies. I never got a participation trophy. So, like, when they come in, they want everything handed to them. That's not this industry, unfortunately. You're going to have to get out. You have to grind. The word grind, you love that word, Chris, I know. But that's what people have to do. You have to get out. You have to be personable. You can't text. You can't email or DM somebody or personal message somebody. You actually have to go face to face, and we're not used to that nowadays. we have ever access to every tool and we don't know how to really communicate face to face. The other thing I'd say coming down to that is when it comes to, you know, asking for the money and different things like that is we've never had to do that because we're able to, you know, rely on somebody to do that for us. And I think that's really became an issue because mom and dad or whoever it is, we go to them to make sure that they go and have that tough conversation that we don't want to have. So.
I think it's all great. And that's one of the things that we're trying to develop is because, like, going back to the lawyer example, there is a stepping stone. So I want to become a lawyer. What do? You don't just go online and become a lawyer. You got to go to a school, you got to pass the bar. So there is at least some tangible things that you need to do. Now, if you want to become a trainer, you talk to another trainer and they're going to give you their confirmation bias of what they think is the right way. So go get this cert or go to this school. Versus you go online, how to become a personal trainer, you type that in, you're going to come across NASM because they're, you know, the huge back with marketing and they're an investment firm. And so then you go through that process and you learn, and then you think you're ready to go. And you go in the industry and it's like, holy shit, I'm supposed to be there at 5 a.m. and leave at 10. This is bullshit because I'm not getting paid the whole entire time. That's not fair. Poor me. I'm a victim. I should be getting paid more than this. I have 15 clients right now. Equinox, it's not fair. I'm only getting 30, 40, 50 bucks an hour. So there's just a lot of this ambiguity that was never addressed in the beginning. It's like, who the fuck are you? You're no one. Without that brand on your back, you wouldn't be where you're at right now. Those clients are that brand. And then they established some sort of, I don't know what the term would be, but they have this notion that they should be given more. And so then they leave, they steal their clients, and they try to do it by themselves. They can't maintain them because the clients like that way of life. They go back to the gym, and then it's just this nasty circle. And so that's one of the things that we're really trying to develop is an internship where people can learn, just put it all out there. It's not going to be easy, but you got to learn. And I love what Amy said about, you know, giving people the clients where, you know, we have clients that come through and we give new students that have been there for a couple of weeks a client, we start training them, and they kind of wash away a lot of that fear. Like, oh, it's not nearly as bad as I thought. And, you know, here's the program. We'll write it for you. Just take them through this. And students freak out. I'm not ready. Shut up. Just go do it. You're fine. You're not going to kill them. Just take them through the workout. Talk to them. Find out what their favorite color is. Give them a compliment. Oh my God, I like your nails. It's not as hard as you think it is. And so they think that we need to get a fucking battle rope, do it for 15 minutes with a back flip on the football, and do all this crazy shit. But in actuality, I think that the expectations from the get-go are just, there's just too much ambiguity. And so, you know, I just wanted to do a little name drop show up, but also I wanted to set that up for the next question. Where do you think we're going now? Where do you think the fitness industry is going to be a year from now, especially with the corporate gyms, everything that's going on right now? Because no one really knows. It could be, you know, sure, we're back in a month, but people are fucking freaked out right now. And they think that if you look at someone, you're going to get all these viruses. So what do you guys, you see your gyms and whether if it's half membership based or what do you think the future is going to look like?
I definitely think it's going to move to more of a virtual platform. I mean, if we can believe everything that the experts are saying right now, things are not going to be like normal or as we knew them again for several months. I know that, you know, at Equinox, we are taking into consideration that even once the doors reopen, we are going to have to adhere to some social distancing guidelines. And so something that we've been telling a lot of these trainers that are very hesitant to get onto a virtual platform, they're like, oh, I'll just wait until the clubs open. Well, okay, if you're just waiting until the club's open and thinking that your business is just going to go back to where it was right away, you are sorely mistaken. And this is the way that we are going to need to be operating for at least the next few months, if not potentially longer. So I definitely think that, you know, the virtual platform is here to stay. And I think that, you know, we are also, in having the virtual platform, going to eliminate the objection that we used to see from a lot of people when they were traveling or, you know, when they live far away from the gym because they work in that area and so I can only come on certain days. Well, now we've got the virtual platform will, you know, eliminate a lot of those objections and potentially get clients training more frequently with trainers. So, but we also too know that, you know, people are using virtual platforms. You know, you can get a program or watch a Instagram live trainer, you know, $10, $15, $20, which is a big another big objection that we're getting from our clients right now is, I don't want to pay this price point that Equinox has when I can go, and get on another virtual platform at a lower price point. So still stuff that we're all working on. But yes, I do think that the virtual is here to stay.
Yeah, I'd agree. I definitely think that it's a huge, honestly, I even saying that, I think we're kind of all behind, and this is something that we probably should have been working on years ago, because the little Instagram trainers and the apps that are giving people this false sense that they're going to have a fitness professional in the same way that they have, an Equinox trainer, a Lifetime trainer, a Crunch trainer. It's just not the same. And I get it. What I think that our companies will have to do is they're going to have to open up the purses, because this is something that should have been happening to the capacity that it's going to have to happen now much sooner. And, the resources that Equinox has, Lifetime has, Crunch has, they need to be put into things where people are not only paying for a membership, but they're also paying for an additional service. And I think that all of them are going to have to relook at how dollars are allocated and, prepare for something like this happening again, because it probably will. So, and I don't think anybody was as adequately prepared as they should have been.
Yeah, I mean, just adding on to that a little bit more is just, the fact is, this is what makes or breaks people in the fitness industry, is how they evolve and stuff like this. And, the biggest thing is when you can't evolve, or you can't, it's just like we talked about just a minute ago. One thing I should have added to this is a lot of times trainers fail because they can't evolve to something new.
Yep.
They stick to what they're used to, and that's what they're comfortable with. So that's where they're going to stay. So, I mean, I think that goes a long ways, because of the fact that the corporate world is kind of the same thing. So you're gonna see who evolves and who does it. The resources are obviously there, but these bigger companies, the three that we have, Crunch, Lifetime, Equinox, all that, they have the resources to do it. It's just if they're going to really take the time and spend the money to do it, because I know right now they're probably looking at a lot of different things, top and bottom line, and what they're spending compared to what they're making now it's nothing. So they really have to figure out what they want to do and how they're going to try to bring this back to save their business.
And if I can add just one more thing, I know that Lifetime is big on growth. Like, we're opening places all over the place, and I believe that that's going to have to slow down significantly, and dollars are going to have to be put into technology, because you can't just do what you've been doing. You got to slow down a little bit, put the money where that you'll be able to have some return if something like this happens again, or if people are like, I'm not coming back to the club for like 6 months. I'll use whatever services I can get, virtually, but I'm not coming back until this really blows over. I think that, I would definitely say Equinox and Lifetime are big in growth as far as more buildings, more stores, more things from what I've seen. I can't speak. I've never worked at Equinox, but I worked in New York. And there's been a lot of new stuff, right? You got Rumble, you got SoulCycle, you got all the things, and then Lifetime is just a lot of stuff too. And it's gonna have to slow down, and those dollars are gonna have to be put towards the technology, which is expensive. And I get why, if something's been working for a long time, they probably just weren't doing it in the way that it could have been done. I mean, it's millions and millions and millions of dollars to do this for companies of this size, but it's got to happen. So.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. I think we got time for one more quick one. With that great perspective you guys are saying, we got to get more into the virtual aspect and the online. What do you think is that next stream of revenue, or that next idea that gyms could potentially tap into in the future? Thinking, this is now, and I wouldn't have been able to predict it. I'm not that smart, but a year ago, I don't think we would have predicted where we're at right now. So what do you guys think 3 to 5 years from now? What do you think is going to be that next big thing on top of what we're talking about right now?
I'm not that creative when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm gonna be real honest. However, we can continue to build off of this virtual platform, is what I'm guessing. I know that
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, go ahead, Jen.
I'll speak on it a little bit. I think the biggest thing is like we talked about the virtual, the virtual platform. But I think what you're going to have to end up doing is allowing trainers that you have on your staff to be able to do online as well as in club training, which is it's risky. It's going to be really risky for these guys because there's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs with that. And you guys both know this. You're gonna have trainers that are going to take advantage of that. So you're going to probably lose some great trainers because they're going to see that there's more opportunity with this as soon as, especially if you give them a platform to kind of start to learn how to do it and kind of educate them on how to do it. You're going to probably end up losing some because they're going to go independent or private, as well as, being able to use their online tools, especially. And then I don't know, I mean, at the end of the day, social media is so big. So what are these corporate gyms going to do to help people grow their social media status? Because that's going to be able to drive more revenue. Like, we do in all the YouTube videos, this, conversation, different things like this. This is what I believe is eventually going to be what people look at and how they make decisions. You're going to go away from Yelp. You're going to look at, they already kind of do. I mean, just the instance, like I had a company reach out to me about possibly training their staff and they wanted to know where my social media was and all this stuff. And I'm like, I you know me, I hate social media. So like,
Sorry.
At the end of the day, I was like, I got 14 years of experience. Like, why do you need my social media? Like, I know what I'm doing. Like, but at the same time, I probably lost out on an opportunity because of the fact that I don't have it built. And that's fine. That's my own mistake. But I mean, you're going to have a lot of, kind of like she was saying at Equinox, you're going to have a lot of people that don't want to do this and be on social media and really grow that. But that's really what it's going to come down to, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about Lifetime and just the direction that I know that they're going. The CEO's big thing is just healthy way of life. So the next thing that they were working on was Lifetime Living and Lifetime Work. And Lifetime Work is like WeWork. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's on top of the clubs and it's like workspace that you can rent out for the day, the week, the month. And then you can have food catered from the cafe, which is in the building and all of those things. And then living is condos essentially next to a club where they can do things virtually with the club, like fitness classes or training. So that's like a broad scope company thing. Based on what you guys were talking about and we're talking about with trainers, definitely social media and learning how to use social media. If I go to any of our companies, I think that we have people on staff that do a better job of social media than even like our company social media pages or handles. And they're probably gonna have to invest quite a bit of money in there. There might be something in a few years with like AI, right? Or some type of that goes even further where you are really working with somebody, but it's really virtually, like you've got those glasses on or whatever, and you're like next to the person. I see something like that happening where they can be like with the person, but they're not with the person. So, and that's a big thing that's just happening in the world. Like we're not doing it because at least, my age range, I don't do stuff like that, but I know that it's going on. And I see people, if this continues and we have like another mega virus or something like that, like people are going to want to do things at home. They're going to want to continue to do things at home. And that will be a way that they can work with somebody and that person is right there with them, but they're not really with them.
That's great. No, I really appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy Fridays. I know we got a lot of drinking to do, but I just appreciate you guys for everything that you're doing, and you're giving a lot of great advice. And I'll be reaching out to you guys in the future. And if you know anyone who wants to be a trainer, send them over to us online or in person. So have a great rest of the day. And again, thank you guys.
For sure. Thanks. Bye, guys.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.